Hi, and welcome back to Resilience Unraveled. And this week, I want to talk about something different. In fact, we're going to chat about the 2026 World Cup, the FIFA World Cup taking place in America, Mexico, and Canada. But I'm not really qualified to talk about tactics. I'm not really talking about who has the best left back or anything else. I'm talking about survival. I'm talking about resilience. Because this World Cup isn't just a tournament, it's a continent-sized endurance event, and 2026 is going to test the resilience of players like never before. Let's break it down into four specific pressure points. Number one, the climate. We know about Qatar 2022 in the heat, and remember, some of us actually Mexico in 1970. Wow! But 2026 is a different beast. You're going from the temperate summer of Seattle or Vancouver to the high-altitude, smog-filled humidity of Mexico City. Then a few days later, you're playing in a blistering afternoon in Dallas or Houston in July. The body doesn't just have to play, it has to adapt to microclimates within 72 hours. That's not just fitness, that's physiological chaos management. That requires a level of stoicism and trust in your medical staff that separates pros from legends. Next is the volume of traveling games. The 2026 format is 48 teams. That means up to 104 matches. For the first time, the group stage doesn't guarantee a simple path. Reach the semi-finals, you could have flown over 15,000 miles. Imagine being a European player based in London. You fly to Los Angeles for a group game. You fly to Atlanta. You fly to Mexico City. The travel is one of the opponents. The resilience needed here isn't just playing through pain. It's playing through jet lag and circadian rhythm disruption. It's the mental fortitude to get on a bus at 4 a.m. and look your teammate in the eye and say, we're ready. Next is the social context, the digital hoo-ha. In 2026, every player has a phone in their pocket. The pressure isn't just the stadium, it's the scroll. A missed penalty in the 80th minute, the algorithms will feed you that miss for the next 48 hours at least, plus the chatter on podcasts and radio stations and the press. The resilience here is really about digital abstinence. It's the ability to block out noise. We saw it with players like Bukayo Saka after the 2020 Euro final, but in 2026 it's multiplier. You can't escape the hot take. The resilient player has to build a bubble. The fragile player builds a victim complex. Next, of course, is external expectations, the weight of a nation. For the host nation, USA, Canada, Mexico, the pressure is immense. The USA wants to prove it belongs in the elite tier. Mexico wants to break the round of 16 curse. Canada just wants to show it's arrived. For a player like Christian Pulisic, the weight of American soccer is on his shoulders. For a player like Alphonso Davies, he's the face of a country's coming out party. That isn't just pressure, that's a psychological contract with 40 million people. And never mind the pressure that builds around the England squad. To survive that, you need resilience that's almost tribal. You need to know that your worth is not defined by your scoreline. It takes mental. So who is built for this? Who's shown the resilience to survive not just one tournament, but a lifetime of them? So we have the survivors of the old guard and the five-timers. In 2026, we're going to see players who are in endangered species, the veterans, the players who are attending their fifth or even sixth World Cup. They're not just skilled, they're resilient. They have rebuilt their bodies, their minds, their skills, and their habits multiple times over 2 decades. Here's a look at the 10 oldest players likely to be attending and the players hunting for their fifth or sixth cap. So one, of course, is Cristiano Ronaldo from Portugal, age 41, been to 6 World Cups finals. Lionel Messi is 39 or will be in 87, born in 87. The godfather of resilience, able to perform at a high level non-stop. Luka Modric from Croatia, going to be 40, 6th World Cup, known as the eternal metronome. Guardado from Mexico, age 39, 6th World Cup, the undead and disputed leader. Sergio Ramos from Spain, assuming he plays, he'll be age 40. Manuel Neuer, who's just come back into the German squad, somewhat controversially, is 40 and above. Thiago Silva of Brazil, 41. Got to be his last, but such a skilled person. And Robert Lewandowski from Poland, age 37. In this group, a spring chicken. Olivier Giroud, 39, and Pepe of Portugal, age 43. Arguably, he's the oldest outfield player in World Cup history and is still a walking example of resilience. What do these people carry? So let's look at a few who are likely on their fifth or sixth. So Messi went from being a boy wonder in 2006 to a heartbroken runner-up in 2014 to the triumphant God of Qatar in 2022. Well, that is 20 years of carrying a nation's impossible expectations. His resilience is about letting go of the outcome and just playing. Modric, he is the definition of consistent excellence. He doesn't have Messi's flair or Ronaldo's physique. He has the resilience of intelligence. He knows his body is his temple. He's adapted his game from box-to-box dynamo to a deep-lying conductor. Guardado is known as El Principito to be the heart of Mexico for over 15 years, surviving the Quinto Partido curse, playing through the screaming pressure of the Azteca and still being called up at 39. That is pure, stubborn love for the shirt. So what's the secret to their longevity? One thing is, it's not luck. First thing could be recovery as a discipline. They treat sleep as a job. They have physios, nutritionists, and cryo chambers. They're obsessed with the process. Radical adaptation. They don't just get old, they changed how they played. Ronaldo has lost his explosive pace, so he became a poacher. Modric has lost his engine a bit, so he became a conductor. Then finally, of course, the why must be big. At 40, you don't fly across the Atlantic for money or fame. You do it because you love the game more than you hate the pain. Because you want to be the first person to play a World Cup in 3 different decades, for example. So the 2026 Cup will be a beautiful, chaotic, sprawling mess. It will test the legs of the young guns, but it will be won and honoured by the old foxes. The resilience model isn't just about running. It's about the choice to keep getting up one more time. For Messi, Ronaldo, Modric and Guardado, that choice has been made for 20 years. Let's see if their bodies agree. Thanks for listening. See you on the pitch.